And we're going to take you live now to the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who's speaking from the United States.
York this week, and to be joined here this morning with Foreign Minister Penny Wong. This visit will allow Australia to continue to work with our international partners on a range of issues with one focus right across the board, which is what is Australia's national interest and how is it best served. Australia is a middle power. We do have influence in the world, and we are able to exercise our voice to put forward the view of Australia in what are turbulent times. I think the fact that Australia has a secure political system, legal system, puts us in a strong position to be listened to in the forums that will be held over the next coming days. We are, of course, very much focused on putting forward Australia's national interest, but also Australian values. And during this week, we'll promote investment in Australia, particularly in renewable energy, but also manufacturing, in a forum that will be held at Macquarie over the next couple of days. We'll share in Australia's world-leading experience in protecting children online. And we're very pleased that the leadership that we've shown is seeing other countries, and particularly the European Union, provide support. And Wednesday morning will be an important event. Minister Wells will join us for that. Her arrival here was delayed because of the debacle that Optus have been involved with in Australia, and she stayed back in Australia to lead the response to that. Australia does want to see increased peace and stability around the world. That's why tomorrow I will attend a major conference on a two-state solution hosted by France and Saudi Arabia. Australia is a long-standing supporter of a two-state solution as the only pathway to a secure and prosperous future for Israelis and Palestinians alike. Later today as well, I'll meet with the King of Jordan, His Majesty King Abdullah II, to discuss the Middle East and our bilateral relations, and there'll be other bilateral meetings held during this week. Today I'm pleased to be here with Minister Wong to announce that effective today, Sunday the 21st of September 2025, the Commonwealth of Australia recognises the State of Palestine. We have had in Australia a long-term position on a bipartisan basis of two states. One of those states is, of course, Israel. The other, of course, is Palestine. And this recognition being announced today in sync with our international partners, the United Kingdom and Canada, means that 3 of the Five Eyes nations are all making this decision today. We recognise the legitimate and long-held aspirations of the people of Palestine of a state of their own. And in doing so, we reaffirm Australia's long-standing position of two states, the State of Israel and the State of Palestine, living side by side behind internationally recognised borders in peace and security. Our act of recognition is based on the commitments received from the Palestinian Authority, including that the terrorists of Hamas cannot govern Gaza again. Palestine recognises Israel's right to exist in peace and security, and the Palestinian Authority will demilitarise and hold democratic elections, driving broader reform to governance, finance and education. I want to acknowledge the leadership of the Arab League that has given added strength to these commitments. Their demand for Hamas to end its rule in Gaza and surrender its weapons has helped to create this moment of opportunity. This is the best chance the world has had in decades to disarm and isolate Hamas and deliver self-determination for the people of Palestine. This is a moment of opportunity for nations of goodwill to work together, to see the hostages taken in the atrocities of October 7, 2023 returned immediately and with dignity, to bring about an immediate ceasefire and to bring an end to the humanitarian catastrophe which is being inflicted on Gaza, to see vital aid, food, water, medicine flow to people in need. Australians want the killing to stop. Australians also, of course, don't want conflict to be brought to Australia. And Australians want the people of Palestine and the people of Israel to know a future of greater hope, true security and real peace. Today we advance that cause. Tomorrow we continue that work. And tomorrow afternoon's conference being convened by Saudi Arabia and France will be the next step following the recognition which our three states are announcing today. I'll turn to the Foreign Minister and then we'll be happy to take some questions.
Thank you, Prime Minister. As the Prime Minister has said, today Australia formally recognises the state of Palestine, and the practical steps of recognition begin now, and this fulfils the commitment that the Prime Minister made a month ago. As the Prime Minister said, this is the moment, the best opportunity that we have as a country to contribute to momentum towards a two-state solution. This will be an ongoing process. For now, what we will do is ensure that Australian government communications are updated to reflect this formal recognition. Official documents, public-facing websites, government systems, policies and operating procedures will refer to the state of Palestine or Palestine rather than the OPTs. Further steps will follow, such as establishing embassies to follow progress on reforms committed to by the Palestinian Authority. This gives effect to the commitment the Prime Minister and I made when we flagged announcement of this recognition. What we expect is reform in areas of education, governance, disarmament, democratic elections and, of course, to ensure the exclusion of Hamas. There can be no role for Hamas. The commitments of the PA are strengthened by the Arab League's unprecedented demand for the terrorist organisation Hamas to end its rule in Gaza and hand over its weapons. Now, Australia has made clear we will work with the Palestinian Authority and the international community to both build the capacity of the authority but also to hold the authority to the commitments it has made publicly to the international community. We've already agreed to work with Indonesia to assist the PA in meeting its commitments, including to institute reforms to law enforcement and to schooling. And as I've said consistently, we are not recognising Hamas. What we are recognising is the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people and the future of Palestinian children. And our steps today reflect our conviction, long-held conviction, that the only path to lasting peace and security for both Israelis and Palestinians lies in two states. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister, you've had...
Hang on. You'll get there eventually.
OK, that's the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the Foreign Minister Penny Wong speaking in New York ahead of that breaking news that Australia has officially recognised the state of Palestine. The Prime Minister says this is the best chance the world has had in decades to isolate and de-escalate Hamas. He says that he has commitments from the Palestine Authority that Hamas cannot govern Palestine again. He wants Palestine under the Palestinian Authority to host democratic elections. He's talking about Australia's influence in the world during turbulent times and talks about the importance of Australia's a voice in the international community. He also says tomorrow he will attend a two-state solution conference hosted by France and Saudi Arabia. But effective today, that breaking news, the Commonwealth of Australia recognises Palestine under the two-state solution. The Foreign Minister Penny Wong also talking about some of the practicalities of that. Official documents, policies, operating procedures will be updated to recognise the state of Palestine. She also talks about establishing an embassy to allow reforms in education, democratic elections, as well. So just to recap that breaking news, Australia will formally recognise the state of Palestine as well.